What's going on? This is Black Ninjas 28. I want to talk about the Robert Guerrero and Aydin fight that happened last night. First off, I want to congratulate Robert Guerrero for his victory. But let's get to the business at hand. Uh, what else is there to say about Robert Guerrero other than he is a hype job? And uh, I'm not going to be too critical on the guy because I have tremendous respect for him and what he did with his wife and the hardships that they've gone through. Um, I think that is a true measure of a man is watch what he does when the people around him need him, and I give him 120% all the respect in the world for doing that as a man, as a husband, and what he did for his family. But we're talking about boxing, and I am a fan of boxing as much as I'm a fan of people who have a very high moral compass. I am a fan of the sweet science, and I think the kid is way ahead of himself. He's jumping way too ahead of himself, actually. I think that he's actually, very, very, very much delusional. He's on that, the Vargas train, to be honest with you. Um, calling out guys such as Floyd Mayweather, who is an elite. He is the best fighter in the world. And you just went a full fight with a fighter who is one dimensional and only has one hand and was repeatedly hurt numerous times, not only to the body, but to the head. And you just couldn't seem to get out of the way of a right hand the way Victor Ortiz couldn't get out of the way of a right hand when he fought Marcos Maidana. Ring a bell, Guerrero. Pay attention to that fight. Usually that is going to be a sign of things to come. If you cannot get out of the way of a telegraphed right hand, then that is a big sign that you should not step up in talent and fight a fighter who does not telegraph his shots. In fact, he actually slays traps, which are beautiful for his right hand. Okay? Don't fight a student of the game. What you need to do is go back to 135, and even at 135, big shout out to J Dill for putting it out there, because I think like him, me and him, we share a lot of similarities, and when we like to break fighters down, is that there are too many fighters that would really embarrass Robert Guerrero. Okay, based on just their technical know-how in the ring. Okay, and let me point out something about Robert Guerrero from a technicality standpoint. When you stand straight up in the pocket, head crouched all the way down, and you take repeated, I'm talking about not one, not two, but 4 uppercuts in a row, and you keep your head there, that gives me the indication that you don't know what to do, and you don't have defense. Let's go to what was even more telling when Robert Guerrero fought Michael Casitas. Michael Casitas exposed Robert Guerrero's body. He cannot take shots to the body. He cannot take shots to the body. Casitas isn't half the puncher that Aydin was. And he slowed Guerrero down tremendously in that fight. Yes, Guerrero put together a great show in that fight, but and can't nobody tell me he wasn't. I forget what round it was in when Casitas fought him. Casitas got penalized for a low blow, which I did not think was low. I thought it was on the belt line. Okay? And I believe that Casitas was coming on strong because Casitas' corner noticed that Guerrero is weak to the body. Now that was when Guerrero was on a steady fight schedule and was training regularly. He showed it again with Aydin last night. When Aydin began to go to the body, Guerrero's whole game plan, and I don't get what it is. He's got no defense with his feet. He stands straight up, and what he does is he just keeps he lowers his elbows, but then he leaves his chin open for uppercuts and right hands. And when he's getting tagged with right hands and uppercuts, he does the dumbest thing I think in the world. He stands even straighter up, and he just crouches his head down. I mean, I don't understand that. That isn't right. You're not ready for the elites. You're not ready for technicians. Aydin was not a technician. In fact, Aydin could have stolen that fight. He could have stolen that fight in the 10th round. Guerrero slowed down tremendously. Tremendously. Guerrero began to hold from the beginning, the end of the 10th to the end of the fight. He was holding on for his dear life. Because those body shots began to take their toll. Not to mention the repeated right hands. I mean, yeah, Guerrero has a big beard. We get that. And Floyd is not a devastating power puncher. But Floyd throws combinations, people. If Aydin had the know-how to throw a jab, just a jab and right hand and a hook to the body, he would have stopped Guerrero last night. There would have been no question in my mind. But because this kid only has one attack frame of mind, one approach, one hand, one instinct, one tool, this is why Aydin lost that fight. But to me, I was watching like what I watched against when Guerrero fought Michael Casitas. It was he fought a one-dimensional fighter, and yet again, the only thing that saved Guerrero was because I believe Guerrero went into the ring that night weighing much heavier than Casitas. He was the bigger man, and he walked Casitas down. You know, and then I think it was Casitas was starting to wear thin after he had given Guerrero a vicious body assault. And they were just, but I can't take it away from Guerrero. He won that fight. But what I can say is that for Guerrero to call out Floyd Mayweather, to me it seems like the kid just wants a big payday. Oh, and I hope that he fought, you know, and he was just calling out Floyd for a promotional tool. I really do hope the kid wasn't serious. I hope he just wanted to keep buzz around his name. Because if he's serious about it, I see, you know, not so much the same exact route. I'm not saying that, you know, Floyd Mayweather has Felix Trinidad power, but when Trinidad fought Vargas, how many people wouldn't agree that Vargas was way outclassed? He moved up too fast. He was way out of his depth. And what ended up happening? He was never the same. Vargas was never the same. Now, a lot of people want to question Vargas' work ethic, and yeah, we know Vargas had issues with PEDs, but, you know, Vargas did have a talent. He had natural boxing ability, and he was a bit of a technician, which is why he had his moments when he fought Felix Trinidad. But, yeah, man, Guerrero, you need to, you know, I know he was excited. I know you could tell, man, this kid loves boxing, man. He loves to fight. That's why I give him his respect for doing what he did, because I know it was hard for him to stay away from the ring while he took care of his wife. But still, man, yeah, know your role, man. Like The Rock says on the WWE, man. He says, know your role and shut your mouth, man. Just stick with fighting one-dimensional fighters, you know, until you start learning how to guard against one-dimensional fighters. Don't go up to guys who got, like, you know, 3 and 4 and 5 dimensions to their game, because they're gonna embarrass you. They're gonna outclass you. So let me know what you guys think, man. This is Black Avengers 28. It's good to be back. Yeah, man. Peace and God bless. I'm out.